When you're watching Breakfast, it means it's time to look at the papers.
And with us this morning, Dan Sodergren, who's a digital marketing and technology expert. Morning to you.
Morning.
You've been thumbing through the pages. We'll see what's caught his eye in a moment. But first, let's have a look at this morning's front pages, shall we? And they're dominated by the terrible events in Nice on Thursday night. The Daily Mail front page there, a very graphic picture of the empty buggies. It says so many children's lives lost in that terrible lorry attack.
The newspaper as well, taking a look at the innocents lost, as so many children, we understand at least 10 were killed. 10 of those killed were children of the 84. Also the Mirror saying massacre of the innocents.
And because of events in Turkey moving so fast, late last night, most of the papers haven't managed to catch up with developments in Turkey. But the Guardian's front page does there reflect the fact that a military coup has plunged Turkey into chaos. Of course, this morning we're reporting that the president of Turkey says the coup has failed and it's over. But clearly, it is only early days.
Dan, you're taking a look at the aftermath as people try to come to terms with what's happened in Nice, and you've taken a look at how social media has reacted as well. And, you know, we were talking about the artwork earlier,
exactly.
but just how social media is bringing people together, or not, perhaps.
Well, no, but I think it definitely does. It's one of the great things about social media. Obviously, it's a mirror sometimes to society, but we can amplify the positive side of things, you know, in some respects. So this artwork doesn't show the horrific images, and we were saying before that those horrific images actually might not be helping matters. But this artwork, and certainly using hashtags like Pray for Nice and things like that, and the Nice attacks, all that together means that we can show the more positive side of life, and hopefully coming together to make sure that, you know, there's something good that comes from this, so to speak.
What do you say to people who think that's all a bit gimmicky and superficial? It might make us feel better that we're sharing something and saying something, but really it's quite meaningless.
Well, I think there's two sides of that, isn't there? You know, we can look at that as meaningless. I think Piers Morgan at the moment is saying that there's no point in doing that. But I would think the exact opposite. This is exactly when we should be coming together. And if we can do that through our Twitter accounts and Facebook and showing solidarity with each other, surely that isn't meaningless. That's exactly what life should be about, using technology to make the world a better place.
Well, that goes on in a very different kind of story now to this, and whether it making the world a better place or not, I'm not sure. But I think we need to look at some other stories, don't we, moving on from a rather heavy news agenda. And PokemonGo.
Indeed.
A week ago, I hadn't heard of it. Today, any parent knows it's taking over the world. It's it's basically a game, isn't it? That people play on their phones. It's like a real life treasure hunt.
It's exactly that. It's augmented reality. It's a real life treasure hunt where these digital creatures will pop up on your phone and you can hunt for them. But more importantly, you can be wandering around different places. It's become a huge overnight or week-long success in America. So much so that Nintendo share price, who were part of the companies that made it, went up by, I think it was $6 billion. This thing at the moment makes about $1.9 million a day from people playing the game. So it's amazing what's happening.
It's interesting. This piece in The Guardian says, we're talking about it, as I just did, as an overnight success, but they say it's been 20 years in the making.
Exactly.
And look at this story in the Mail. I heard about this yesterday. Some kids had to be rescued from a cave. They were so into this game, going around with their phones looking for these characters, that they had to be rescued by the fire brigade.
Yeah, so there's always, and I think the Daily Mail did this one, there's a positive and a negative to most things, most phenomena in life, yeah? And certainly this becoming so downloaded like 65 million times and bigger than Twitter, and more people have got it than Tinder. They're wandering around different places, finding these creatures. But in doing so, some people have got lost. Some people actually have, unfortunately, fallen off a cliff trying to play this game as well. The game, however, does say at the beginning that it's literally very, very clear, be careful of things around you and obviously be very aware. So we've got to have a bit of common sense here, I think. We can't be blaming the game for the fact that that has happened.
I know a lot of kids who are all of a sudden very keen to go for a walk.
Yeah, well, this is the positive
didn't
side
want
of
to
it.
go outside.
Exactly.
Sudden,
so the positive side of this is, you know, people who didn't want to walk before are now walking and talking to each other more and more. People are reporting that mental health problems and depression are being cleared up. So playing the game actually has amazing positive effects.
The Times has taken a look at the age of stupidity. You're going to have to explain this.
This is. I just thought it was a lovely point after the Pokemon story. The age of stupidity seems to have dawned. Apparently, clever people are having fewer children, and therefore our IQ levels are going down by about 0.14 every decade, apparently. So our IQ levels are going down and down and down. This is according to this very, very small report. But I thought it was quite interesting how when we thought about the PokemonGo and people maybe doing slightly silly things, this might be the reason.
And our IQ levels are going down because clever people aren't having fewer
Exactly,
clever
en
people are
masse.
having children.
Exactly. That's the idea. So
Was it 0.4?
Yeah, 0.14.
We'll cope.
So, yeah, I think we will. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be fair,
All right,
I thought it was quite a silly story, but bit of fun.
Dan, thanks so much.
No problem.
It's 9:27. We're here on BBC One for the next half hour till 10 o'clock. Then it's Saturday Kitchen, and Glyn Purnell is in the kitchen this morning. Good morning to you. What's on the menu, and who have you got?
Hello there, newsroom. You're